Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture with Stormybman for this Monday, November 10th, 2025. This is number 141 in the series of Nerds, and this evening we're talking about a film from the early 2000s from DC Warner Brothers. It was Superman Returns, the 2006 film directed by Bryan Singer and starring Brandon Routh in his first lead role, continuing the story of Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel from the original Superman films that he starred in. And we're going to talk about that film this evening a little bit, getting back into the graphics of the pages of DC Comics and going from page to screen. This film was made with a budget of just under $300 million. And for the time that it was made, the special effects were pretty darn good, seeing that there was a tremendous transition from what we now know as CGI and things of that nature. So without further ado, let me introduce my partner in crime. We got Drew Titan in the building with me this evening to discuss this film. Drew, what's going on with you, brother? How you feel?
I'm blessed, brother. How are you? This is a good night.
Yeah, feeling pretty good. You know, when we do the Nerd Show, it makes me, kind of wild out as far as being a nerd. I'm happy to say I'm a nerd, man.
Right.
And, being the age that I am and still have a little bit of kid in me to want to be able to enjoy these things that kind of made life and living so much fun coming up, Right. I remember as a kid when my mother took me and my cousin to see the original Superman the movie back in 1978 when it was released in the theaters.
Mhm.
And there was an irony when I had invited her to see this film when it came out at the theaters back in 2006. And I lost my mom in 2008. So it was kind of a coming full circle that I took her to the movies, and she wanted to see it because my mom was a nerd too, bro.
See that?
So,
See that work?
so and we were sitting there having popcorn, watching the film, and I told her, I said, "You remember when you took me to see Christopher Reeve's Superman back in 1978, and here I am
Mhm.
now taking you to see this one." And
See
she
that?
laughed about it. We had a great laugh on that, and it's a very wonderful, warm memory for me. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of open up with sharing that little tidbit.
Yeah, that's warm right there. This Superman, the reason why this one was such a big deal, and I know this might not be everyone's favorite, but we have to consider the times.
Mhm.
In '08, around that time, everything in that era, you were seeing the emergence of Marvel. They made it bounce back. Blade brought the MCU into prominence, and then we was in the midst of the Iron Man. It was the Avengers in its infancy. Everyone had their individual movies, and again, Hollywood started to do different things with its special effects and CGI. And for those of you that don't know, this Superman this is really supposed to be Christopher Reeve's Superman. And it's a story about he left, disappeared for 5 years and came back. And to remind me, I have something to say about that S on his chest. That's
Mhm.
very key right there.
Yeah.
So the reason why this was a big deal is because we haven't seen a Superman movie with updated special effects. We seen it on TV with Smallville. We need to do a show about Smallville. We definitely need to do that because the first season and some change. I'm watching this damn thing and he's not even flying. He's running everywhere. I'm saying, man, the season finale, we're gonna find out he's the Flash. He's running every damn place. I'm like, what is going on here? When is he gonna fly? He eventually did it. I think like in the last season, he jumped up and took off, and he was wearing a black trench coat. I'm like, oh, finally, But that we'll
He
save
was
that.
Neo.
Yeah, he was Neo. You found out he was freaking Neo. Come on, he's running every damn where. But this was the like a motion picture. So with the updated special effects, and now DC has to compete with the MCU, everybody was curious what they were going to do here. I already knew what not to expect. I didn't expect him to have some sort of rival super villain where he's getting knocked through buildings, because I'm like, well, they're going to have to build up to that. I said he's going to come in. There's going to be a Lex Luthor and Kryptonite and a near death. I knew it coming in because, we're nerds. We know how these stories go. But I did go to the theaters to see this because I was just curious as to how this was going to play out. Now, was it horrible? No. Could they have picked someone else? Yeah, to be honest, yeah. Tolerable? Yes. Before I forget, that S on his chest is not the S on the chest from the Christopher Reeve Superman. That's actually the S from Kingdom Come comic books.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I actually thought a perfect build off of the first movie would be a Kingdom Come story. If you never read it, Stormy, we can actually do a review on that too, because that was pretty damn good. The Kingdom Come comic book.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And what's his name? The artist that drew it. What's his name? Oh my God.
Alex Ross.
Alex Ross. I follow
Yeah.
him. He has a channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow him, and I met him a few times. Man, he was selling his paintings for thousands of dollars when he was at the comic book convention like years ago, and I saw him there. And he was just sitting there all quiet, but only the artists that knew him was like he got flooded after a while. I said, "Oh my gosh!" But yeah, he you know, I thought there was a moment where they were going to build on that, but they didn't do it, and you know, so we're left with this movie. And if I was going to, out of 5 stars, I'd give it like a 3, because there was no replay value for it. It is a movie you can just have in your collection, but there's nothing that I said, "Hey man, I'm gonna run back to the movies and see this." Majority of this was a love story between him and Lois. Like,
Yeah,
he
and
with her for 3 years. I mean, for 5 years, and she was like, "Well, what the hell? Where you been?"
and
And I
being
wanted to know what he went through those 5 years.
and being the sequel to the Christopher Reeve film, and disregarding Superman 3 and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, this was supposed to be a sequel to Superman 2, because you know the events of Superman 2, once Superman had turned back time and brought Lois back to life and all of those things. The film has a opening credit scrawl that reads something along the lines of scientists had discovered that off in the distance of space, there were what they believed to be remnants of Krypton. And but it was too far out of reach for them, you know, to really discover whether or not it was Krypton. So Cal decided to go and venture for himself. And in a great scene that was deleted from the film, you have to see it on the Blu-ray. They show him get into his ship that brought him to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
He remodified the ship and he went on a quest in space to see what the scientists had discovered. Now, the reason he was gone 5 years is because, you know, when his parents sent him to Earth, it took him about 3 years to get to Earth. That's why he went from being an infant to when he arrived on Earth, he was a little boy,
Right.
like a toddler, you know, when Jonathan and Martha Kent found him. So venturing out there to try to discover where Krypton was, it took him about 2.5 years to get there and 2.5 years to get back. Thus the 5-year absence off of Earth. And
Right.
Lois and everyone that he knew and was associated with, they, of course, when Superman disappeared, they did articles on it with the Daily Planet and everything.
Howard Clark.
And yeah, and Lois, of course, knew who Clark was, and I think Jimmy knew too, but they kept it from everyone else. And when he went into space, he found a huge chunk of Krypton. By the way, Drew, did you ever see this deleted scene?
No, I never saw the deleted scene.
Yeah, it's on the Blu-ray for Superman Returns. It's a great scene. They should not have cut it from the film.
Wow.
He ventures out, and his craft, as it's approaching the rock, he begins to go into crisis because it's kryptonite. It's Krypton. It's like a giant rock of kryptonite.
Right.
But you can't see it as kryptonite. It looks like a broken up moon or whatever, you know.
Right.
And so as he's approaching it, his little guidance and stuff on his ship is like, it's going into a panic mode, like these alarms and stuff are going off. And as he's guiding the ship, he's actually got a Superman suit on, similar to Man of Steel, how the Kryptonians wore their suits,
Right, right,
with the glyph on the chest.
right.
He has a silver one on with the S on the chest, and he's in that crystal ship. And as he's getting closer to the rock, which is like the best way to define it would be like it's a huge section of landmass, maybe the size of a state in the US. It's that big. So like I said, Krypton blew up, right? So this is just a piece of rock that has kind of ventured into not Earth's atmosphere, but close, enough that scientists were able to detect it, like a comet, but it wasn't speeding toward Earth or anything. So he's on his ship and he's trying to control the ship, and it's shaking and stuff, and he's starting to sweat. And Superman doesn't sweat.
Right.
So the perspiration is letting you know he's going into crisis. And then the camera pulls back from his ship, and you could see the large mass of land and the ship, how tiny it is. And then you start to see these little green lines that's going throughout the rock and stuff, which lets you know it's just like a giant piece of kryptonite for him.
Yeah.
So he's about to pass out, and he hits the directions on his ship for home, and the ship turns around and starts speeding away from the chunk of landmass. And that's the opening scene, but they cut it from the movie.
They shouldn't have did that.
They shouldn't. That it was it's well shot. The special effects look great. It gives you a chance to see Superman in space. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Bryan Singer, he put that together very well. I have to admit, he did that. And it's about like, I want to say it's like a 6-minute scene or something like that. It's not really long, but it's they shot it as the opening scene, but instead of putting it in the film, they give you this opening scroll like Star Wars that says, after scientists discovered this, rock in space, they found out it possibly is Krypton, and Superman decided to venture out to investigate it. And so the film picks up in the Daily Planet and stuff like this, and then from the cut scene you get a chance to see his ship coming back into the Earth's atmosphere, and Martha Kent is in her kitchen. She just finished playing like some kind of word game with her friend, and he leaves, and as she's in the kitchen washing dishes, the ship comes flying past the house, and she could see it out the kitchen window, and it lands in the back fields of their farmland. And she knew it was him because she knew he was gone and this was him returning. But when the ship crash landed, she drove her Jeep out there to try to find him, and found him. He was kind of like passed out, and that's where the movie opens. But I thought that was pretty cool that they did that and introduced it that way. But like I said, the only thing was they changed his costume, and you and I were talking about that before we went live, and I was saying that Brandon Routh's Superman costume, it didn't look like Christopher Reeve's costume. It didn't have the same color palette for the film or anything, because one thing about Richard Donner's original Superman is that the colors were really vibrant and popping, especially when Superman was on the screen. And I think that contributed a great deal to receiving Superman / Christopher Reeve. It was like, wow, look at that. You know what I'm saying? The visual of it. And I think they really dropped the ball with Superman Returns, because his muted colors, the blue was kind of like a darker color, and the cape was almost like maroon, and the red trimming was almost like maroon, actually reminding me of Superman and Superman 3, after Richard Pryor's character gave him that kryptonite makeshift rock, and it changed him into an evil person, and his costume changed colors. Superman Returns costume was almost those same colors, those muted colors, which was not cool. Now this clip I got showing right here, it's like a little GIF. This is actually from the TV show, the Crisis on Earth, where they brought Brandon Routh back to play the Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah.
And that's why it looks like that. But this is not the costume that he had in Superman Returns. So I just kind of wanted to explain that as well.
Yeah, that was, yeah, I do remember that. They man, everybody's doing this thing with time travel now. Or dimensional, interdimensional. I did watch some of that. Was you able to watch a lot of that stuff on the TV series when they were dimension jumping?
Well, I caught an episode or two, but I didn't stick with it. I know that, and maybe we could talk about this too, the DC television series, because Arrow was the bomb. It was good. I really liked
Arrow. Was really good. Arrow was,
yeah, Arrow was excellent. And do you know when it first started out, because I wasn't watching like online or any internet stuff or even comic book related content that said that this was what that was, a TV show of Green Arrow, because remember, it was just called Arrow.
Yeah.
And when it first started, you know, first couple of seasons, you know, he didn't even have no costume or anything, you know, he was just, you know, the character being played. But as that series went on, yeah, he became Green Arrow from the comics, which was really cool how they did it, you know. And
that was awesome.
Soon to be joined by other DC characters in that show who made guest appearances and stuff. And by the time Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline came, they brought Brandon Routh back to play Superman from Kingdom Come, and they also had Kara Zor-El, his cousin from Supergirl, and they had Power Girl. They had all those characters. From
you know the episode I did catch.
Mm.
When they walked up on, what was it, Earth 1965, and the meteor was about to hit the Earth, and who looks up? I think it was Burt Ward, the original Robin.
Yeah.
You know, he said, "Holy something, something, holy end of world," and it blew up that dimension. So there's no Adam West and Burt Ward Batman dimension anymore. Right. That's how the episode started. I said, "Oh man, why they do it?" I mean, he's old, walking a dog, and he looks up. The sky turned red. He was like, "Holy end of the world!" And it blew up. I was like, "Oh!"
I didn't see that. I think I heard people talking about it though after it had aired. I heard a couple of people talking that saw that, but I didn't.
That sucked, because if Adam West was still alive, they'd have definitely put both of them into that scene. And
right.
I'm watching it because my buddies, he's big on DC like how we're big on Marvel. He knows everything.
Mm.
And when I saw him at work, he's like, "Yo, did you see that?" I said, "You know, I did. That was," but I said, "Man, they killed that whole dimension. The Adam West Batman is gone." That was crazy, man. That was crazy. But they worked. They found the way to work everywhere. They even went to Smallville. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. But I mean, look, yeah, we could discuss all of that. But what did you think overall? Was you satisfied? I mean, other than it meaning something to you on a personal level, what was your overall? Did you enjoy the movie on a level where it's like, you know what, this is a classic, or it's like, you know, it was tolerable? What was your overall thoughts about the film? I'm talking about, you know,
Superman Returns.
Yeah, Superman Returns. Yeah.
Aside from my displeasure with his costume, I was receiving of it because, of course, you know, Christopher Reeve was, you know, now moved on and everything, and passed on actually. And for an actor to portray his version of Superman, I thought Brandon Routh did a very good job. He captured, and see, that's the difference between understanding what years later Henry Cavill coming out with Man of Steel through Zack Snyder. Brandon Routh never got the chance to do his interpretation of Superman. He was playing Christopher Reeve's Superman, and that must be stressed, because just like it must be stressed that Zack Snyder's Man of Steel was it was executive produced by Christopher Nolan, who wanted to do a darker version of Superman. It wasn't the Superman right from the comics or whatever, the whole, you know, glorious upbeat guy and all of that. It was a different take, a more modernized story, and people got upset at Zack Snyder for that, but it was Christopher Nolan who said, because when Warner Brothers had asked him to produce this after he had done a great job with the Dark Knight trilogy and everything, he told them, I'll do it, but it has to be done with how I want to present it to the audiences. And they told him, they said, yeah, because, you know, they threw it in his lap because of the success of the Batman films. So if you think about it, that's why it was kind of like it was. But people get pissed off at Zack Snyder, but he was just doing the job he was commissioned to do. Whereas when Bryan Singer made Superman Returns, he went in and talked to the Warner Brothers people and said, if I did a Superman story, you know, would you accept this? And he presented his treatment, and it was supposed to pick up after Christopher Reeve, the same Superman, you know, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, and they went with it. Now the irony was, he came back after that 5 years, and when he returned to the Daily Planet and everything, you know, there was Lois and Jimmy and Perry White there, you know, and you know, they were continuing on with their lives, like, you know, whether he was there or not. And Lois had a little surprise for him too when he came back, because, you know, I gotta say it, you know me, my interpretations, you know, he turned into deadbeat Kal-El, because he, you know, he came back and he had about 4.5 years of missed child support. So,
and you know, she done messed around. She started dating Cyclops. I mean, it's ridiculous. I was like, what's going on in this film?
Hey man, look here, Superman.
Hey bro,
Lois was like, I got something to tell you. He said, I'll be back. He left for 5.
He left. Man, who's gonna make Superman pay child support? Nobody.
Yeah, man. Him, Hulk. What's wrong with these superheroes?
These dudes, man. That's ridiculous.
Deadbeat ass heroes.
Yo, you know what was funny as hell? When Luthor had her, and he was monologuing, and then he stopped and looked at her and looked at him. He said, "Whose child is this?
Whose child is this?" Yeah.
And then he took the piece of kryptonite and walked up to him. She said, "It's not his son. He's just sick." And he walked up and held it to him. And he was like, "Yo, he just has whatever he had. He had some sort of breathing disease."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was interesting because, yo, Stormy, when he threw that goddamn piano, yo, the special effects on that had me rolling in the theater. I said,
he hit my man with a piano, bro. And dude went and told Luther on the yacht, he was like, boss, dude is dead. he got hit with a piano.
He already knew. You can't do nothing with
Lex
that.
was like, oh, it's time to go.
Leave him
We
alone.
gotta get up out of here.
He's like, wait a minute, he what? He got hit with a piano. Luther already knew. He said, you know what? Leave it alone. You can't do nothing with that kid.
Man,
My
let
God.
me tell you something. It was so funny. But Lex knew, you know, he was like, he looked at that little boy, he was like, whose baby is this? And Laura's gonna tell Richard's, you know. Yeah. Richard wished.
You know what was crazy?
Huh?
When he thought they were about to drown. And Superman came at the last minute and yanked the boat?
Yeah.
Yanked them out the ocean, right? Because they were done. Yanked them out the ocean.
Dude, that door slamming on Lois's head, knocking her out, that should have killed her.
Yeah, man.
Because that heavy steel door like that.
Yeah, but Lois is hard-headed. Notorious.
Good one. Yeah, that's straight up right on that one, man. You ain't never lied. Because they were constantly telling her not to do something and she doing it anyway, man.
Yup. So what was crazy was he laid her down. He lays her down. And he's using this x-ray vision to make sure her insides is fine. And her new boyfriend, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he was just thinking like, man, he looking at her boobs. Man, I mean, how am I gonna stop your Superman, leave my girl alone? What you gonna do? Fight him? Man, get out of here, man. It's Superman. You be like, man, I don't want no smoke with Superman. I'm good.
Man.
That's crazy.
And check it out. And the little boy, I forget what his name was in the movie. When Clark came back to the Daily Planet, and you know he was greeting everybody, Jimmy and everybody, you know, they had a welcome back Clark cake, but somebody had taken a big old chunk out of the cake where it said Clark, the C and the L was gone.
Oh.
They had taken. He was like, oh, somebody has some. They helped themselves to it. Okay, yeah, Adrian. He said it's Jason. That was his name, Jason. But anyway, Jason, when they introduced, they was like, hey, Jason, this is Clark. He's an old friend and everything. And then on the TV monitor was like some clips of Superman saving people and stuff. And he looked at Clark and he looked at the TV and he started having an asthma attack. He was like, he took his little thing. He was like, he was trying to hit he could see that Clark and Superman was the same person.
You can see it.
But nobody else could see that shit.
Yo, you know, ain't that crazy? It's like, y'all don't find it strange.
I thought that was a funny scene right there. It was like he looked at the screen, he saw Clark, and he saw Superman. He immediately went into an asthma attack.
Man, that was funny as hell.
Oh my goodness, man!
I always thought people were crazy.
Right,
like, y'all don't see that this is the same. Anytime there'll be like a space squid in Metropolis, and Clark is never around.
Yeah.
Never around. It's like, y'all can't put this together. The funniest thing, Superman the animated series, right? Clark, like some mob put a hit out on him and they ran his car off the road to kill Clark Kent. So then they found the car but didn't find the body. So obviously you can't kill him. This dude flew all the way to Smallville because Clark is now missing. And Lois is like, look, there was a mob hit on Clark. We can't find him. The police is looking for him. And he's talking, and she's talking to Martha, and they back the camera up. Superman sitting in the kitchen with his hand on his face, like, you know, I can't just pop up. They're gonna know I'm Superman.
Right.
But he can't tell Lois, yo, I'm fine. I'm at my mom's house. Because the mob's looking for him. I mean, it was a funny ass episode. It was a funny episode.
Now, this little image here that I captured from the movie, it shows Lex with his crew, you know, and he even had Kumar.
Kumar, yeah.
Yeah, Kumar from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And the dude right there to his left shoulder, that's the dude that got hit with the piano, with the skull cap on. But I thought it was a very interesting scene upon reflection that Lex, eventually, he went back to the Fortress of Solitude, because remember, this is supposed to be Christopher Reeve's Superman. And in Superman 2, Lex went to the Fortress of Solitude to learn about Superman. And then he visited a second time when the 3 Kryptonians took them all there. And then in this film, he goes back to this Fortress of Solitude, and his lady friend there, Parker Posey, who's supposed to be that film's version of Miss Tashmaka, but they never called her that in the film, but that's supposed to be who she is. But what was interesting is there's a line of dialogue where he goes up by where Superman's crystals are, and Lex pulls the crystal out of the thing, and she says, "You act like you've been here before." And then he just kind of slightly rolls his eyes, you know, and looks around the room and surveyed a Fortress of Solitude. I thought that was kind of a really cool way of putting it in there, because maybe she's not Miss Tashmaka, but she's like Miss Tashmaka. In other words, he likes to keep a dingbat with him, you know what I mean? So when she says, "You act like you've been here before," she wouldn't know that he was actually there before, but she could pick up on he kind of had a feel for the place. You know what I'm saying? And this time he went through what the crystals do, and he found out that the crystals can create life, basically. Right. And so he stole all the crystals. He took them this time. And when Superman came back to the Fortress of Solitude and he saw his crystals was missing, did you see that look he had on his face? Brandon Routh was like, man, was he pissed. He was like, where the hell my crystals at?
Where my crystals at?
Yeah, man. So, but Luthor, he decided he was gonna try to make another planet, you know. And when that crystal had fallen into the ocean, it immediately, because it was in the ocean. Remember when Superman had the green crystal in Superman the movie, and he threw it over into the ice, it built the Fortress of Solitude, remember?
Yeah.
But that crystal that Lex had, it fell into the ocean, and it embedded itself in the bottom of the earth in the ocean. So it was starting to grow a land mass. And eventually it began to cause problems because the mass continued to grow and grow and grow. Superman, of course, had to do away with that situation. Though he didn't have people to fight in this film like we would see later in Man of Steel and BVS and stuff like that, that was still like a Superman type of feat that he had to handle the situation, because that mass of land was growing. It was about to destroy Metropolis because it just kept growing and growing and growing. And it was causing earthquakes and all types of issues. And he had to go underneath it and cut it away from the earth. And then he threw it into space, you know. But once again, being heavily exposed to kryptonite that was part of that landmass, you know, it really depleted him, and he fell from the sky. Remember, he fell from the sky and they thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And they put him in the hospital and everything.
You knew, I know he was super when they tried to give him an IV and the needle wouldn't go in.
Yeah, and I thought also it was pretty cool when Lois went over there and she told him that Jason was his son.
Yeah.
That woke him up real quick.
And I just wanted to see a continuation on all of it. I just wanted to see how far they were going to go, what they were going to do. You know what I'm talking about?
There was supposed to be Bryan Singer's Superman Returns 2. The story was supposed to pick up that even though Superman threw that mass of land into space, that it continued to grow. And somehow, some way, Brainiac came and, you know, he used that as a place where he took up base or something, and he found out about Superman's son on Earth. He detected that that was a Kryptonian kid or whatever, and he went after him, and he did something to Jason, and it turned Jason evil. And Superman had to deal with this situation with his son, and he ended up having to take his son down or something like that. But that was going to be the continued story.
Adrian Vet in chat says Metallo was supposed to be the villain, and that was the guy in that scene that shot Clark in the eye.
Yeah, yeah.
That was supposed to be Metallo. Wow. I'd have liked to have seen that. Wow.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on that one particular special effect. I recall reading or hearing about that on the special features of the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
You know, that guy was shooting that Gatling gun at him.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a pretty cool scene because he turned that thing on and Superman was walking toward him and the bullets were bouncing off.
Right.
And then when he got within like 5 feet of the guy pulls out a gun. I guess it was like a 357 or something, and he pointed it at his face. And when he fired, the bullet just bounced off of Superman's eyeball. Yeah, he didn't even blink or anything. And they said that scene cost X amount of money that they put to do the special effects for that.
Wow.
But it was supposed to be like really, really, and I thought it was well done because it was like, you know. But that just lets you know how invulnerable Superman is, you know.
Yeah, I like when they do things like that. That was good. You know, like I said, this movie, it wasn't bad. I didn't leave the theater pissed off, you know. I will say this. You can't watch a high impact superhero movie that's 3 movies in. Okay, you done did the story building and the origin stories, and you might get a little fight at the end. Now, when you go into a sequel, you only want about 10 to 15 minutes of storyline, and you want to see your hero flying through the air, beating stuff up. I believe the intent in the sequel, you know, Metallo and Brainiac and trying to, you know, fix his son, that would have been pretty dope.
Yeah.
The biggest critique for this film was there wasn't enough action. And I understand. I'm not going to refute that. I understand. But this was story building for this. This was story building.
Yeah.
And I get it. I was looking forward to the sequel. I said the sequel got to be better. I know they're going to throw people in there, and somewhere down the road, they're going to drop an Easter egg. You're going to see something that says Wayne Enterprise, and they're going to let you know Batman's coming or the next villain, you know. But we never got there. We never got there.
Well, I'll tell you something. One of the things that I was really curious and interested in, because he wasn't in the film a lot at all, I wanted to see more of Brandon Routh's Clark Kent, because I kind of liked his Clark Kent. He wasn't like silly like Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent. He was a little more measured, and you know, like you remember when he found out that Lois had a boyfriend and everything.
Yeah. And
he was always kind of side-eyeing Richard, you know, and as Clark, not as Superman. So right. that was interesting, you know, and his Clark was kind of like a serious dude. And they had that one scene where Jimmy Olsen and Perry was talking in the office, and Jimmy had mentioned that Lex Luthor had got out of jail, and he was like, how did Lex Luthor get out of jail? Because he was supposed to be serving 2 double life sentences, right? And from Superman 2. And so Jimmy said, well, you know, when the prosecutors had him and, you know, Superman didn't show up for court and everything, you know, legalizations, and, you know, he got out, he's like, how do you think that would make Superman feel? And Clark looked at Jimmy and said, oh, pretty mad.
That was funny.
Yeah. So, you know, I would have loved to see a little bit more. And how about Lex swooning and smooching that old lady, huh, out of her fortune?
Man, they ain't wasting no time with that. He G'd her out of millions. He got out of prison and became a millionaire.
Dude,
G'd that woman.
Man, and those people, when she was laying on her deathbed and he was in the room with her, and she was like, oh, you've made the last years of my life so wonderful, Lex. And then he was like, yeah, he handed her that pad so she could sign over her estate to him. And her family members was outside in the hallway beating on the door. You got let him say it. It's like, don't listen to that guy. He's trying to cheat you. She was like, oh, we've had so much great time. And he was like, yeah, sign right here, baby.
Man. And the funny part is when she died, that's crazy. The funny part when she died, when she passed, what had me giggling in the theater was when he took that damn wig off.
Yeah.
He took the wig off.
He was like, you can keep this. Everything else is mine.
Everything else is mine. So he leaves the mansion, right? He comes back with his goons. And she was like, she looks at the dog. And she was like, wasn't there 2 of them? One died and the dog was eating the other dog to survive. I was like, oh, man, that's dark. She had 2 dogs. When they came back, yeah, that was crazy. She was like, what's there, 2 of them? Yep, it was.
Lex was something else in this movie, bro. He was like, you ever heard the story of Prometheus?
Huh?
He said, you ever heard the story of Prometheus, when he was talking to Lois and them?
Yeah.
On the yacht. And he was like, I'm like that. I just want to bring fire to the people. He said.
Man.
You know, he had his issues outside of, you know, Hollywood and Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I know.
I think he made a good Lex Luthor. His Luthor was a dirty SOB.
Did he ever?
When he took that shard of kryptonite and stabbed Superman in the back with it?
Yeah. Did he
and
ever
pushed him off the cliff and told him, now fly. Dude, that was some serious stuff, bro.
When he went on that rant, he says, selfish is having that power and not willing to share it with people. I mean, he really despised and was jealous.
Yeah, man.
Man, as a character, he was really, man. Luthor is the epitome. He's the epitome of a hater, because Luthor is a criminal mind, but he's a genius and he's wealthy, and none of that mattered. Don't count your blessings. You see what I mean? We talk about that all the time. But my gosh, man, that was ruthless, man. That was ruthless. Did Kevin Spacey ever rebound in real life over those accusations? I didn't follow it.
I don't think he's returned from
Hollywood.
Man. I think he's been out ever since that stuff went down.
My
and guess
gosh.
what? Bryan Singer too. I haven't heard of Bryan Singer making any other films.
I forgot about that. Oh man. Yeah, that was a rough spot, man. You know, and that was a dude that said he harassed him sexually.
Yeah,
dude.
Bro, you know what's interesting, man? That stuff was going on for a long time, man.
Oh yeah.
It was going on for a long time. And it's interesting, a certain circle of guys got in trouble, but it's still far more than those guys. But at the same time, whatever their reasons were for getting taken down, you just had to feel like, man, I guess they figured that somebody was gonna have to sacrifice because it was too big. Do you remember the story of those governors or politicians that was in the restroom, and then the one guy was rubbing his foot up against the other dude's foot in the stall or something?
Nah, what?
And yeah, it was like somebody had taken down one governor in the U.S. I forget what state it was, but it was in one of them, where all them folks are. But apparently harassment was the deal, and dude didn't want to be exposed publicly, where this other cat didn't care about it being public, and so there was a big old issue. And man, it's like, but that was many years ago. That was like around the time that this movie was released, or a little bit before, because it was rampant in the entertainment business and music industry. It was in the politics. Yeah,
Man, it's a dirtbag business, man. It's a dirtbag business. That is ugh. Holy smokes, that's nasty. Ew. But yeah, man, it's I haven't watched this through in a long time. It's a pretty good popcorn movie. Don't expect
special effects were good. The special effects,
like I was saying earlier, this was the resurgence of the next level of special effects. It was like 06, 07, 08. What year did the remake of Clash of the Champions? I'm sorry, Clash of the Champions. Clash of the Titans.
the remake.
Yeah. Was this around the same time, I believe?
That was around 2010, 2012. Yeah.
Because I was really stoked for that, because they hit that next level of special effects, and I'm like, man, they're gonna do that one justice. So I remember going to movies to see that too.
Yeah, Clash of the Titans. 2010, yeah, that's when it
2010.
came.
So this
out,
was
yeah.
about 2.5 years later, and I was stoked to see that, because I'm like, man, Hollywood's getting better with these special effects, man. This was really good.
And I knew that Marvel would eventually get around to the Incredible Hulk after I saw Warcraft. Remember that?
Yes.
You saw those orgs in there. All of them looked like the Incredible Hulk, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
That's what they looked like, the Hulk. So I was like, okay, if they can do these creatures here, they can put the Hulk on screen now.
Yeah, and they did that. They did that, man. But this wasn't bad. I wasn't disappointed with this. I really
be able to pull that deleted scene from Superman.
It's on YouTube. I just pulled it up.
Yeah, you should be able to pull that up on YouTube.
Yeah, that's yeah, you know what? I'm gonna watch this again. Man. But I think he pulled this off. He pulled this off. He did. And of course, with the they discontinued this. They went to the TV series, and then the Snyderverse came about, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me a lot of hope. And then, with these movies, man, we can't get used to we can't get used to something, because you want to talk about egos, man. I can only imagine when we go from something that's grade A great, and then the next installment is just something totally, it's like a reimagination. You just know that these clowns in Hollywood just get into a cock measuring contest, and they try and reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Suffers, we do. As supporters, we suffer, and it's I don't like that, man. They need to get over themselves. They need to put their egos aside, man. It is so frustrating, man. It is so frustrating. So
Yeah.
frustrating. I don't
Salute
like it.
to Kojo Ashanti out there says Warcraft is a great movie. We should do something on that too in the future.
Yeah, you know what? We should. We should. We
I
should.
really enjoyed that. Great special effects in there too.
Yeah.
Great,
Did we
great
do?
visual,
I see
great
Kojo
visual.
in the chat. He's mentioned Predator. Did we? I feel like we talked about. Did we talk about Predator in its entirety?
We may have talked about the first film,
Uh huh.
but we didn't talk about the whole
Oh
thing.
man, have you been keeping up with everything lately?
No, like the Badlands thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I haven't.
Oh man, because everything is connected from the movies to the animation. It's all connected, and you actually find out what happened to Danny Glover's character and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Dutch. They actually got kidnapped.
Mm.
They got kidnapped, man, because you see them in on some Han Solo stuff, like they're like frozen. So they were kidnapped, and I guess they sent them to that war world. You know, oh man, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Justin Cash. We gotta do the DC animated series, and we can do Justice League Unlimited because we ain't got to do Batman and the Superman series because it all leads up to the Justice League Unlimited series, which I might add was one of the greatest animated series like ever.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it? Oh man, they have a lot of B characters that come through there too. A lot of them.
Where can I check those out?
By now it's on box set. It might be on maybe HBO Max. Justice League Unlimited might be on HBO Max. Kojo's asking, this is more of a DC channel. Now we do everything, brother. But we frequent everything. We frequent everything here. We're experts more on others than we might be experts more somewhere else. But that's what the chat is for. That's what this is all about, man. We're getting our nerd on here. I'm more of a Marvel guy, but shout out to DC, man. That Justice League Unlimited, woo-wee. Stormy, I watched that religiously when it was on TV. Religiously. Adrian says it's on HBO Max. Good. It's on HBO Max. The Justice League Unlimited. That is a deep, deep, deep series, man. And I loved it. And Stormy, it gets dark too. It gets real dark. Yo, when Power Girl shows up, it's rough, man. Man, she started kicking Steel's ass, almost killed him. I mean, she was kicking his ass. It was bad. Oh man. Yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely got to do that. The Batman Beyond series was great. Oh man, there's an episode in Justice League. Was it Justice League Unlimited? Where they do a throwback of what happened with Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis he was older now, and they was explaining what happened. Yo, don't ruin it. There's an episode of Batman Beyond where Terry finally meets the Justice League. That is one of the hottest episodes. It's a two-part. Those are the two. Yo, man, those episodes was crazy. I was literally. That was when things were still coming on Saturdays, and before I went to work, I would watch that, and I was like, "Oh my God, what? Oh my gosh! Oh wow!" Derek Gaines says he heard Arnold's coming back for the next Predator. Why not? Bring back Dutch. Dutch is the OG.
Okay, I just pulled it up on my HBO Max, Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
3 seasons.
Oh, it is Stormy. It's great. It's great. You don't have to go back and watch Batman the animated or Superman animated to link the two. You can start right there, because it actually, those 3 seasons leads up to a really big thing.
Man, they got all the DC stuff on here. It's got Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yeah, the
Part
movies are separate. The animated movies are separate.
Yeah.
But those DC movies are hardcore too. Those DC movies are rough, man. People be getting killed and everything. Yeah, Derek Gaines, yo, do you see Flashpoint Paradox up there?
No.
It gotta be there.
But I'm because I queued up Justice League, and it's everything regarding Justice League. And
if you can find Flashpoint Paradox, that movie, that is
it's
great.
It's probably on here, but I'm just this is all under Justice League stuff here.
That's a dark film, bro. That's a dark film. That's a dark film. Kojo says, "Do you like James Gunn Superman?" I don't like it. Well, we don't. We do not like. This is not a James Gunn channel at all. We do not support that. We do not support that.
Yeah, Kojo, I already did a couple of videos on that, man. If you go to my Stormybman's Temple of Culture and Entertainment channel, where that's an offshoot of this show and this channel, you know, over there, I've already uploaded a couple of items for people to check out. By the way, Drew, one of the videos I did got 400 and something views.
See that? They're out there, man. We are out there.
But I'm saying though, so like, what are they doing to my main channel? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, man, they doing us dirty, man. But that's okay.
They really doing me dirty on my boxing stuff because, dude, my boxing talk is better than a lot of these guys.
They're better than all of these guys, Stormy.
You know,
better than all of these guys.
I listened to that guy, what's his name, that be on there with the Irish guy that be on there with Adi Oladipo.
Yeah.
And he was, man, that dude is such a waffler, man. He'll talk about a fighter like going into the fight with and not to get into boxing, but just make this quick remark about him. He going into the Ortiz and Lubin fight, he was saying how tough a fight it could be, but he think that, you know, Ortiz will win and everything. And because the fight ended like he did, he was like, oh, he's washed up. I knew it. I just saw this coming. It was like, dude, you didn't even say that before when you just totally, you know, threw himself like he just knew that, you know, it was gonna end. Nobody knew it was gonna end like that.
Put your link, the brother in the chat, Kojo, he's asking for the link for your other channels. You can throw those in there so he can go support.
Okay, I can make it easy for him. If you go to the click on Stormybman on my, you know, on the channel here, and go to my post page. When I put on my post page this show for this evening, I put the links to the other channel and my Rumble channel.
Right.
So you can click on those. They're right there, and you can just sub from there.
Good job. You found
it. Yeah, I put them in there.
Kai World says we watched Justice League Doom. I haven't. They're coming out, Stormy.
Yeah,
they're coming out.
Because you know what it is, man. We do pure stuff, bro. It's like, you know, and we ain't dissing nobody, and it's like we're having a great conversation about, like, who the hell is talking about Superman Returns?
Not in the last decade.
But you see, this is why I come up with that, Drew, because it's something. It don't mean like, oh, I'm just on a Superman kick or nothing. No, but it's like, you know, me, if you give me a moment to think about it, I'm always gonna come up with something. Yeah, it is. That's like when I said a moment ago, we should do something on Warcraft.
Yes, sir.
Because that's a damn good movie to review, you know? So, but yeah, man. We're nerds. This is what we do.
Look at you, man. You give us a minute, we'll talk about it. Even if we're not educated about it, I'm all for having a conversation about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the chat is going to back us up or correct us or whatever. And we're not beyond being corrected. We'd be like, oh yeah, thank you.
Oh, see, now you see this young man, he says he was 2 when this came out. He's a youngster, you see?
Wow. Okay.
Wow, brother. Yes, sir. Okay, so he loved it. He loved the movie. You see what I mean? Yeah. He loved the movie.
Yeah, and he's talking about Supergirl in 84.
Oh, you remember that? The Supergirl movie 84?
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
I did like that. Mm-hmm. I did like that. Yeah. Stormy, if you're gonna watch a movie, DC, I'm sure it's up there. Flashpoint Paradox on I know it's on HBO Max. If you could find it, you're gonna watch that and be like, yo, because they are on demon time in that film. DC don't pull no punches on their movies, the animated movies, because they're not connected to like the WB series that was on television. They're not connected to that. Although the last episode of Justice League Unlimited, they got kind of dark with that too. Oh, bro. Kojo's my guy. Look at Star Chaser, the Legend of Orin. How many people could say they saw that? How many people could say they saw that? The Legend of Orin? Oh man, what year was that? I don't even think I was going through puberty when that came out. And when I went to go see that,
yeah, I found Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, bro, you're not gonna be disappointed. You're not gonna be disappointed with that. I watched that and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I was like, what the? But it's well written. Oh my God, and it's tragic. It is tragic, and I'm gonna give you a little gem. There's characters in there because, and y'all can help me out with this. 85, I was 10 years old, brother. I was in 1985 when Orin came out. In Flashpoint Paradox, there's a couple of characters that are not technically from the DC universe. They're from the Image universe.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, I said, wait a minute, what's going on? And there was a guy from Wildcats in the chat. Y'all should know who Wildcats are. That's created by Rob Liefeld. No, I'm sorry. I mean Jim Lee. When they created Image, Grifter. Thank you. And I was like, what the hell is he doing in this movie? But it was nice to see him brought to life in an animated situation. And it's tragic, Stormy. I was like, damn, that's bugged out, man. That was bugged out. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was bugged out, man. But you're gonna like that film because yo, it gets rough. That film gets rough. I was like, yo, why are they doing this? This is crazy. And F Wonder Woman. I hate her. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oh man, I wanted to kill her. That trick. Said Wildcats are it's Image sold them. That's what happened. I figured something like that happened. They sold them. Okay. I was big on Image. How many of y'all were big on Image when they came out? Because all my favorite artists went over there. Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane. Who else went over there? Wills Potasio. It took him fucking 5 years to release Wetworks. He finally did it. All of them went over to Image. And they had their own universe. Y'all remember Pitt? I got the first issue of every main character over there from Image. I got all of them. Savage Dragon, Eric Larson, that's my guy. Savage Dragon, I got Savage Dragon 1, Spawn 1, and I got my Spawn 1 signed by Todd McFarlane. I have that. Youngblood 1, Wildcats 1, Pit, and I don't have Wetworks 1. I don't have Wetworks Part 1. I mean, the first issue, I don't have that. It took them forever to release it. I was mad as hell. God damn it. It took him so long. I heard he was sick. I heard he got a sister that draws just like him. I don't know how true that was. This was before the internet, ladies and gentlemen. But goodness. Image was a beast. I met Jim Lee too. You know, quick story. Years ago, comic book convention, Jacob Javits Center, New York. So me and my buddy, we go there, right? So there was a big old line. I said, who's in there? I looked. I said, oh shit, that's Jim Lee. So he was closing up shop and the line dispersed or whatever. So I was like, fuck it. So I went, took a leak. I come outside and I was just talking with some guys, and who comes out the bathroom? Jim Lee. Bumped right into him. I said, oh man. I was like, yo, Jim. I said, can I get a picture? So we took a picture real quick. He's short as hell. Then, right, that wasn't the highlight though. I go to this other room, it's Todd McFarlane. And I said, man. So I had two things with me. I had Spawn 1 with me, and I had a limited edition Jason Wynn doll from Spawn. Y'all know who Jason Wynn is. And I had to make a decision because there was people online like, yo, where did you get that? And I said, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. I found it. There was a store called Dragon's Den. Yeah, I'm kind of tall, Steve L, but don't ruin it for everybody. Dragon's Den. They used to have a bin where they had things on discount for $5. And I would go in that bin and I'd look all around. And one day I just saw Jason Wynn just sitting there. I said, what the hell? And I bought it for $5 and I have it. I have it right now. I have it in my closet. And it's in storage. So I had both of them and I said, which one should I get signed? But I said, man, they want like $30 to stand on that line and you can get only one item sold in a picture. So I was trying to make a decision, and this chick comes up to me and she says, listen, you want to go inside? I said, yeah. She said, well, you can take my pass. I'm here with my boyfriend. I really don't want to be here, but I love him. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. Let me get it. So I took Spawn number 1. I got online. I went in there and met Todd, smiled, took a picture, signed my book. I put it in my, I'm skipping a part. There was a guy there with a buzz cut and a goatee, and I'm watching this guy. I'm looking at him, skinny white dude. And I'm like, oh shit, that's the drummer from System of a Down. And he was just walking around. I was like, oh man. So I took a picture with him too. So we go down to the floor, and this was right before I walked up on Alex Ross. So I'm just looking around, and somebody like taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, it's Todd McFarlane. I was like, oh, Todd, what's going on, bro? He's like, you guys having fun? I said, great. I said, look, that's my boy Chuck over there. I said, can you take a picture with him? He was like, sure. So I said, yo, Chuck. So then Todd says, Chuck. And then my boy Chuck turns around. Man, he almost passed out, man. Yo, Todd McFarlane is like a hero in the comic book industry. To me, he is. He took a picture with my boy. He's super friendly, man. Super friendly. I met him, met Eric Larson. Rob Liefeld wasn't there. I walked up it was called Artist Alley, and Alex Ross was standing there. Man, his paintings were $1,000. I think the cheapest painting was like $500, and my pockets weren't that deep at the time. But that was great, man. That was great. That was great. Yeah, Derek Gaines, I have Spawn number 1. My Spawn number 1 is signed by Todd McFarlane. I got it signed by Todd McFarlane. I ain't never parting with that. Hell yeah. Holy crap. Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Jim Lee also did the New 52. Man, those guys is just nice. I follow Rob Liefeld on Instagram. You know, we I comment on his posts. Did y'all know there was an independent group that did an animated intro for Youngblood? I just saw this yesterday on his Instagram. If y'all follow Rob Liefeld on Instagram, he just posted it yesterday. And he has the characters animated jumping out of an airplane with the X-Men theme. And I said, why haven't you? You know what? I think he said it's on YouTube. Hold on a minute. Let me see something. Young Blood animated. Look at this. I think it's here, y'all. Yup. Here it is. No, that's okay. Yeah. Yep.
Kojo is asking, was this a boxing channel? Yeah, it's my flagship channel. Started off as boxing, but we do talk some other things on here. But I did branch off into 2 other channels simply to be able to be specific with certain content elsewhere. But this is my original channel. I've had this channel since it's been a decade now. So, yeah.
Stormy, you think I could get 5 seconds of this? I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I just want to play when the plane opens up.
Who? 5 seconds of what?
Of this clip right here from Rob Liefeld.
No, man. You know why? Because of what they did to us yesterday.
Oh shit! Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, they waiting on us, man.
You know what I'll do? I'll put the link in the chat so they could see it.
Yeah.
On leisure. That's what I'll do.
Put the link.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay.
But like I said, they got you for that, and they got me for my answering the bell earlier in the day because I had played the same video, the dumbass.
Yeah.
And they sent that message to me at 1 o'clock in the morning this morning.
1 o'clock in the morning, bro. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. That's the link. That's a pilot intro for Youngblood, and it was never released. But he got a hold of these guys, and they were gonna work on it. This was 1995, and they were gonna do it, but I don't know the story. But this is them. Chapel. Stormy, you ever watch Spawn, the animated series on HBO?
Yeah.
Oh man, great stuff, man. Great stuff. Die Hard, Chapel.
I'm tired of him threatening us with a updated movie. It's like, if you're gonna do it, just do it, you know?
Yeah.
McFarlane, he been saying that for how many years now?
Shit, at least 2 decades, man. At least. This was the man. You know what? I gotta go. Image had a really good universe, man. And you know what else is crazy?
Damn good animations, don't they?
Yeah.
Looking at this, because on HBO Max, they got everything. That's why you see me looking off to the side, because I'm just adding stuff to my queue to go back and look, because I'll watch a few of these and then we can do some shows reviewing this stuff, because I know a lot of it you've seen already. But
yeah,
because I don't be looking through there like that. I just, shit.
A lot of people don't know that what's his name? Derek, what's that what you call it? Who's the guy that does witchcraft in the DC universe? Keanu Reeves played him in a live action film.
Constantine,
yeah. He's a DC character. He got movies up there too. Animated Constantine. A lot of people didn't know that was a DC character.
Is Keanu Reeves ever gonna play a movie again where he don't have that long hair and beard?
I don't know. He's the same guy.
It's like, dude, he look grungy, man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They may as well re-release or they already did. They already did another Bill and Ted, right? They brought that back already.
Hey, you just asked me about Spawn. They got that on here too. On HBO Max.
Yeah, I couldn't. The
animated
animated series, hell yeah.
It's on here.
Yeah, Spawn, the animated series, was true to life to the book.
Violent too.
Oh, super violent. Super violent.
Boy, I tell you, man, it's like, you know. Man.
Oh, they getting deep in the chats now. He's saying thoughts on Nemesis from Icon Com. Stormy, you know who Nemesis is?
I've heard of it, but I
Okay.
don't know much about it.
He's picture Bruce Wayne, but evil. That's who it is.
Wow.
He is the absolute worst, bro. He is the worst. He is the worst. Capital W. He wears all white with a mask on. He is the worst. He's a douche. He's an absolute douche. But he's a cool ass character though. He's a cool ass character. He's a douche though. It's like the Veltramites are like evil Kryptonians.
Yeah.
That's what Nemesis is. Like to Batman. He's all white. But this guy, just read up on him. You're gonna be reading it like, yo, I can't believe they put this in a comic book. The crap that oh my God. Exactly, Justin. He became a villain because he was bored. He's a dick. He's an absolute dick. That's like the worst character ever. You like reading the book. It's like he's so cool, but you hope he dies at the end.
Yeah, I heard of.
Who's worse, Justin? A Nemesis or the Batman Who Laughs? Because that's messed up.
You know who I was trying to figure out? That Disney series, I watched it. That Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to watch that series again because I was trying to understand because I didn't know about the character, right?
Right.
I'm like, this dude is crazy.
Schizophrenic. He's
Do
schizophrenic.
you think that that's somebody that they lifted from DC? Because you know they did that to each other, right?
Yeah.
They take one another's characters and they just do a name play on the guy, and then
they tried to say Moon Knight was an offshoot of that's Marvel's version of Bruce Wayne, but they added to that story from the 80s. The 80s maybe. But they added to that story and they made him schizophrenic and he's actually in touch with the gods. Derek Gaines said he hated Moon Knight. Yeah, you know what? It was a bit much. I ain't even gonna hold you. It was a bit much. Once I saw the talking hippo, I kind of got frustrated. I was like, come on now. But you gotta understand, you know what, Stormy? Moon Knight was a production of Marvel Phase 4.
yeah.
That's why it's hard to watch. That's why I don't care to see another She-Hulk. That was crazy. But when he started fighting, that was true to the books. So if they do the Midnight Suns, they bring back Moon Knight, Blade, Ghost Rider, Werewolf. That'd be great. That'd be great, man. That'd be real great. But yeah, I gotta roll because I gotta bust these moves tomorrow.
Yeah. Quick question for you. I was gonna ask you this after, but just ask you on the air here. What'd you think about those two photos I sent you?
Hey man, I told you, man. That's man cave level 1 right there, man. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it.
I got those plastic containers to put my figures in.
Yeah.
I got to get a larger one to put the Bruce Lee in. But once I get that larger one, then I'll, be cool. But I got Cap in one. I got Black Panther in the other one.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's whoo-wee. When we get a minute, I'm gonna bring all of my models down here, my toys. and we'll review as much of them as we can. I got a lot of Todd McFarlane toys. I got Dragon Ball Z toys from Japan. I have them in storage. I got a bunch of stuff. I have a Bolo, and I think I have Mr. Han. Although my boy got Mr. Han. I got Bolo though, from Into the Dragon. They made an action figure of that. I have it.
I told you I got that Anakin where he is Anakin, and then they got the burned Anakin.
Yeah.
And then they got the Vader suit it's all in one package.
All in one pack. Oh wow.
Yeah, and I got that like in, might have been when did Revenge of the Sith come out? What year?
Oh boy. That was 2000 and
so I got it when that film had come out, because I think it was like at the time when I picked it up, it might have been like $25 or something like that. But dude, that thing now, and I've opened the box, but I've never taken it out of the box. So it's like that should be really worth something now. Got a little lightsaber in there. It's got a blue saber and a red saber in there.
I want to encourage everybody, when we start doing nerds and we really want to start playing like clips and music, please follow the Sensei on Rumble, where they don't, we won't even do nerds on YouTube. When we do that, we're gonna go join Rumble. It's free. Go over there, and we'll let you know ahead of time. Nerds will be on Rumble. We're gonna be playing music that we want to play. We want to play movie clips, and it'll be a better show over there, because YouTube really restricts what we do here, and it's annoying.
Yeah. It's really a drag what they do to us over here. I'm putting the link in the chat right now for this broadcast on Rumble. I just dropped it in the chat there, so you guys can go over there and click on that link and just follow me on Rumble. Just follow me. Just go to up to the top of the page or wherever it is on there where you click on follow and subscribe or whatever, because we're going to be doing more of this, putting stuff over there. I realize now if I want to multi-stream, I have to do it from here easily to put over there, but that's okay,
Salute, Jimmy, straight up. Salute, man. And
salute, Jimmy.
It'll be a more fun show over there anyway. If you want to get the full effect of the show, it'll be so much more fun, because we can still go through StreamYard, go over there. We can also drop links if y'all want to join us, and you could share, and we could do the music that we want to do, play the clips we want to play, and it'll just be an overall better product over there, because YouTube really, even you could turn off the monetization for the show, they're still gonna nail us.
Yeah, they still do it.
It's ridiculous.
And you know what really pissed me off? Remember we did the show on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yes.
And I talked about that scene that was really important from the show, where and I know you got to go. I just want to say this real quick. Where Anthony Mackie as Captain America gave that speech at the end and everything, talking about being a black man in the dressed in the American flag, being Captain America. I thought that was so strong and well written, and we played a little bit of that clip and we discussed it and everything, and they hit me with copyright for that. I'm like, dude, I see people playing stuff all the freaking time. All the time. And I even turned the monetization off on that show, because remember I had told you, I said, when we do this, I got some stuff I want to talk about and play, and turn the monetization off. They still hit me with copyright thing on it, man. I'm like, these SOBs, it's like, really? So they pick and choose who they want to do this to, man.
They do. And it's unfortunate. And that's why I'm so glad we have two options. We got Rumble. And if you really want to get funky with it, Patreon.
Yeah.
You go to Patreon. And I'm going to tell you what, y'all don't even have to, you could go to Patreon for free. I mean, the real nitty gritty stuff you're gonna have to pay for, but we could go live on Patreon too, from what I understand. And we ain't got to be bothered with this bull crap.
And I look at it like this. You know how people send super chats or cash apps or something? If you're a member of my channel on Patreon, just look at it like this. That's your super chat. That's your, being signing up for me over there, because that's where you're supporting me.
That's all.
And that's why I was telling just the other day, like, I know that Queen had pulled back, but she said it was for a different reason. But I was like, I want people to know I haven't forgotten about my Patreon. It's just that I am dedicated to the boxing and I'll be doing it, But just think of even that when I say that, Drew, because I have a premiere that goes every morning, and I talk about a lot of stuff that nobody else is talking about, or they'll catch on after I said something. And they look and now they doing, but my views are very low. But I know that that's false because of who see it and everything. So, they putting the clamps on like this, but just as you did by creating a couple of other channels, it lets me know how they really messing with me, because it's like, the other channels are really flourishing.
These motherfuckers, man.
On the Kung Fu channel, I got 300 subs in 2 months.
See that?
And some of those joints that I put up over there already, 10,000, 16,000 views, this and that. It's like, come on,
man. Come on.
I haven't had a 10,000 view on not one of my damn boxing things, and that's bullshit.
But meanwhile, all these other assholes have your talking points. I see what's going on. Fucking idiots. Well, I'm gonna cut loose because I gotta catch this flight.
Yes, sir.
Closing thoughts on this, man. I recommend, if you haven't seen Superman Returns, man, you see it, watch it, and it's a popcorn film. Don't be too thirsty for a lot of action. It's more story than action. But just see it just for the sake of seeing it, man. And we'll be back next week. Can't wait to see what we talk about. I won't be live on my channel for the next maybe 2 days. I'm gonna be dropping videos though. So y'all stay up, and y'all be cool, man. Thank you again, Stormy, and we'll talk.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. Safe travels with you with whatever you got going on. So you guys, be well out there.
Thank you, brother. All right, now.
All right, man. Peace to you. Yeah. Let's see here. There's the brother Drew Titan. So we're gonna get ready to cash it in for this evening. Man, great show. When we pull these nerves out, man, this is I try to encourage it. Let your inner nerd flow. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, there's nothing wrong with this. Being a nerd for comic books and movies and music and all type of arts and crafts and culture items and articles. Hey, this is what it's all about, man. That's what keeps us alive, the creative process. Just embrace it, man. Just embrace it. But yeah, we're gonna head on up out of here, man. I want to say thank you guys once more for tuning in. If there are new subs, thank you for your subs. We hope to continue to bring you the most quality of content that we can. And we'll see you guys next week for another Nerds. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys next time. Peace.